Hey y'all, it's Christy with Christy's Custom Creations, and in honor of school starting back and my little boy starting pre-K, I wanted to make a glitter UV resin stapler. So I wanted to have something for my little boy to give his teacher, Miss Grayson, on his first day of school. So I figured let's make a tutorial out of it. This is an Amazon Basics stapler. I ordered it on Amazon and I will have it linked in the description box below. They sell them in like 1-packs and 3-packs, and you know prices are always changing on Amazon, but when I bought it, it was like $6 and some change, almost $7 for this one stapler. So I think they have a 3-pack on there for like $16 and some change, but I'll have all that linked down in the description box below. So we are just going to take this top part off the stapler. So I wasn't sure how to do it at first, so I just opened it up and you can see me working on the back there, and there's just these little bitty, it's like a pin that it goes in, and then there is a spring. You twist the back side off and it just pops right off along with the spring. So make sure you put the body of the stapler and the spring in the box and set it off to the side. So I've now got the top part of the stapler, and there's this little bitty piece here that you can hold on to, which makes it a lot easier to work. Or to have something to hold while you work. This is 220 grit sandpaper, and I get my sandpaper on Amazon also. What I love about it is it has a sticky back to it, so I'm able to just like stick it to my fingers, and it's very maneuverable and easy to use, and it just makes it a lot easier. So I am all about some sticky back sandpaper, and like I said, it's 220 grit. I get it on Amazon, and I will link that in the description box below as well. I have this video super sped up because I didn't want to make it really long because it is an easy project. So we're going to move a little fast. Usually I would wash a tumbler or whatever I'm making in the sink, but for this, I've got some 91% alcohol on a paper towel, and I'm just wiping any of the dust and everything away from the top of the stapler here before we apply the glitter. You want to make sure that the alcohol is completely dry, and it dries really fast. Rubbing alcohol dries super fast. So this is a UV resin that I use on all my UV projects. This is KCC glitter. It's my glitter brand. I highly suggest you check out my website. I love this color. It's a fine holographic glitter, and it's on my website. It's called Caprese, and that box that I just showed you, it's a Sunloo box. I'm going to show you 2 different ways in this video that you can cure your UV items, your stapler, whatever it is that you're making. You can either use the Sunloo box or you can use a nail lamp, and I'm going to use both in this video. So I'm putting on a finger cut, which I also got on Amazon, and I will link them in the description box below. And I'm just going to put some UV resin on this stapler, and I'm going to rub it on there and just get really good coverage all over it. And I actually used a little bit more than I needed, and so I ended up wiping a little bit off. Just get good coverage. You don't want any bald spots, because wherever you put that UV resin is where your glitter is gonna stick. So just get good coverage with it and try to keep it off your fingers if possible. It's super sticky, and it does have a bit of a smell, but it's not overwhelming. And this is I really like this UV resin. It's one of a few that I've tried, and out of the ones that I've tried so far, it has been my favorite. But I am going to show you a couple, like I was mentioning earlier, a couple of different options as to how to cure the light. So I had set this down and then I couldn't pick it back up, so I had to use a popsicle stick to kind of like prop it back up. But so I'm just going to, now that I've got my UV resin on there really good, I'm going to sprinkle the glitter on and just get really good coverage, make sure I've got everywhere covered up really, really well. And then I am going to stick it in the Sunloo box here. And the thing I like about the Sunloo box is I can literally set it for like 600 seconds, which is quite a while. And it just sits in there and it spins. And I actually put a piece of like parchment paper down inside to just keep it off of the little spinny thing in there. It's kind of like I don't think it's glass, but there's like a little thing in there that it spins on. Anyways, I stuck the parchment paper down in there just to keep any resin off of it. And once that is dry, I let it go through about 2 cycles in the Sunloo box. Once that's dry, it's time for our first coat of UV resin over the glitter. And we're just going to do the exact same thing we just did a minute ago when we were applying the glitter. We're just gonna put a nice coat on there. You don't want a really super thick coat though. You want a thin coat, because if the UV resin isn't like self-leveling, it will try to start running and everything. So you just want a really thin coat so that we can cure it one thin coat at a time. And by doing that, it helps it not be like late wavy or lumpy or anything like that. So like I said, just a thin coat is all we really need. And then once we get that thin coat on there and you just smooth it out super good. The smoother you can get it, the less sanding and the smoother your stapler is going to be in the end. So as you can see, I did put a little bit too much resin on there, and I'm just wiping it off because I want it to be smooth. I don't want it trying to like build up on the bottom as it's drying in the box. So the difference between the Sunlue box and using a nail lamp is the Sunlue box does take a lot longer to cure, but you can set it for a longer time. I think it ticks for like for like 600 seconds or something like that. Under a nail lamp, I feel like the nail lamps are a lot more powerful. I like using them both. They both have their pros and cons. If I just want to like set it and walk away and not have to come back and check on it every 60 seconds, then I stick it in the Sunlue box. If I can literally sit there and babysit it over a nail lamp and turn it on every 60 seconds, then I'll put it in my nail lamp. I also live in sunny Florida. So if you've got some really good weather, after you do like your initial cure and your resin is semi-hard and it's not going to go anywhere, you can also take your project outside and just sit it in the sun. The sun works so much better than a UV lamp or the Sunlue box or anything like that. The sun is just amazing for curing UV. And this is the nail lamp that I have. I bought this one on Amazon as well. And I did buy the Sunlue box on Amazon too. I did find that since I was actively working on crafts while I was making this this stapler and this video for y'all, I had time to stand over it and pretty much babysit it and every 60 seconds turn it back on. So it was a little bit more beneficial for me to start using the nail lamp because I was right there in my crafting area. So I'm just gonna grab our little piece that sticks out there. The piece that sticks out that I'm holding onto is actually the part of the stapler that like mashes the staples down into your paper. And prior to putting on the name on this stapler, the vinyl lettering, I put 3 really thin coats of UV resin on there. I probably could have just done 2, but I wanted it to be really nice and smooth. I didn't want to have to do a ridiculous amount of sanding, so I just did 3 really thin coats, and the stapler turned out perfect in my opinion. So as you can see, I'm just spreading it out, smoothing it out really good, and then I'm gonna let it cook through multiple rounds under the sun lamp here, or the nail lamp. And it is all dry. It depends on your nail lamp as to how many, or your Sunlue box as to how many rounds it needs to go through, or whether you take it outside and let it sit in the sun, as to how long it needs to cook. You just gotta feel it. Feel it. If it feels a little bit tacky, run it through another setting on there. I mean, I probably run it through 6 cycles on the nail lamp before I feel comfortable with it being dry enough. So I've got my sticky back sandpaper and I just sanded it really good. It's the 220. It's the same stuff I used before, which will be linked in the description box. And I'm just wiping it down with the 91% rubbing alcohol. Super speed here because there's no reason to sit here and watch me do this all day long. But all right, once it is good and dry, I am going to go ahead and apply the name. Miss Grayson's name here, I cut her name out with my Silhouette Cameo 4. I just used some white Oracle 651 vinyl. And I cut it at about 1 inch tall and approximately, I think the stapler was 5 inches long. So I think I cut it at about 4.5 inches long. So 1 inch tall by about 4.5 long, and it went the whole length of the stapler, which is what I was looking for. So I've got my little squeegee tool here that's got the felt tip on it, which I highly recommend. Also got that on Amazon. Buy all my stuff on Amazon. I'm pretty sure my delivery people hate me. And I'm just gonna smooth it out. I love the felt tip on it because it doesn't scratch my vinyl or anything like that. So now that the vinyl is on, it is time to put the finger cot back on. And I like using the finger cots while working with UV resin, I'm kind of struggling with it here. I like using the finger cots while using the UV resin because I'm not wasting an entire glove. I'm just using, they're cheap to buy a big giant bag of them. So you just throw one on your finger and all you're doing is spreading a little bit of UV resin around. So highly recommend the finger cots. I find them very, very helpful when working with the UV resin rather than wasting an entire glove. So this is actually going to be my last coat of UV resin here. If you feel like you need to put multiple coats on just to cover up the lettering, you can. It's totally up to you. You just play it by ear, kind of judge it and see how it works for you. If you feel good with your coverage after this one coat, then by all means be done with it. If you feel like it needs a little bit more, then put one more coat on it and let it cook underneath your UV light a little longer. So that is it right there. I'm gonna set it down and set my UV light on it, and it is done. Look how cool that turned out. I love this Caprese holographic glitter from my glitter line, KCC glitter, and now it's time to try to figure out how to put this thing back together. It actually took me a few minutes to figure it out. I didn't pay close enough attention whenever I was taking it apart, but I'm gonna start on the back here, and I'm just going to, see the little pin on the back? I'm just going to clip it right back into the pin. And once I clipped it back into the pin, I was kind of trying to struggle to get it back together. I didn't realize that I had to pull, there's two parts on the metal part there where you would like put the staples in. I had to pull that back, and as soon as I pulled that back, it clicked right into place perfectly. And there we have a working stapler, and it is ready to go. So I wrapped it in some really cute little cellophane stuff with my business card, and it is ready for my son to take to his teacher tomorrow morning for his first day of pre-K. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I'm also going to make a video making a stapler using epoxy resin next. So stay tuned for that. If you like the video, hit the subscribe and the like button to see more videos like it. And as always, y'all take care and have a wonderful day. Bye, y'all.